Hi again. Uh, Last week we saw that the most minimal chatbot creation using OpenAI API, OpenAI's API version. I just want to extend the same now. I'm going to talk much more about um, chat completion API. But before that, maybe one or two lines. Last week or beginning of this week, OpenAI had their Dev Day, and they have already announced many great things. Some of them was a new model called as GPT-4 Turbo. Now it takes around 128,000 tokens as an input, so which is great. It's almost like 300 pages. And of course, they have launched Assistant API, and also they have launched GPT-4 version. GPT-4 version for vision. I'm not going to go in details for that particular topic. I'll create another video. But why I wanted to mention this is because they have updated an OpenAI's Python library. So the older version was 0.28 dot something something, which used to use OpenAI.chat.completion.create, but they updated version now to 1.01, and within 2 hours they updated it to 1.1, and now this morning it was 1.2.2. So just keep an eye on it, and they have changed the way we call this API. So instead of directly calling OpenAI, we need to change it to of client. We need to create a client, and then it's client.chat.completion.create. Everything else remains the same. So here we begin with our extended video for chat completion API, and let's see how we can use it for our purpose. So let me copy, and I'm gonna call it extended, maybe extended. Yeah, and here I'm not gonna have a loop. I'm gonna take off the loop. Okay, and if the loop is gone, then I'm gonna just have my own text here. So for example, test. Okay, and let's see if our basic things work. Okay, 3 OpenAI test underscore extended dot py. Array is not defined, of course. So control Z, control Z. Really don't want to append anything to it. Okay, seems it will be working. Yes. Hello, how can I assist you today? Super. Okay, so again, I just want to explain much more how we can, let's say, make completion, chat completion API flexible for your purpose. um, we have seen that these are most minimal number of parameters that we have passed. So what all other parameters that we can use so that we can make best use of chat completion. So now let's take two different scenarios. One scenario is I'm gonna ask chat GPT or GPT, because GPT API version. I'm going to ask GPT who is prime minister of a country or who is the president of a country. And this is a fixed information, right? We do not want any creativity. We just want the best possible answer. So for example, if I say who is the prime minister of India in 2020, it has to be a one and only one answer. Whereas if I ask the same GPT about what can I cook for dinner tonight, and you don't want the same answer every time you ask the question, right? You want a different answer, more creative. Um, let's use the word creative or randomness. So you, for some kind of answers, you want randomness to be almost zero, and for some answers, you want randomness oblique creativity to be little bit high. So that's why they have introduced some parameter called as temperature. And to remember it, like for example, if the temperature of water is lower, then it's like an ice, it doesn't move, there is no flexibility. Whereas if the temperature is close to 100, it's boiling water and it has huge flexibility, right? That's how you can remember it. If the temperature is lower, uh, then we can have no it's going to every time give you a constant answer. Whereas if you have a higher temperature, it's going to give me um, more creative, more optional answer. So let's see if we are able to do it. I'm going to put temperature as 0, and let's say, what can I cook for dinner? Okay, let's see if my theory works, or if our thought process work. So it should give me some good answer. Let's see. Um, Maybe, I don't know. If you are vegetarian, uh, some kind of soup. If you are non-vegetarian, maybe chicken tikka masala. I don't know, but it would be sorry, nice to see. Okay, it's taking usual than normal. There was an outage 2 days ago for whole of chat GPT, or whole of OpenAI, basically all their APIs, as well as uh, you know on chat was not working. Okay, here is our output. So yeah, he has given few ideas, spaghetti, blah 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 blah. I'm not interested in the answer. I'm interested if I call it again, will it give me the same output, or it will be different? That's what my test is gonna be. So I kind of expect maybe few words here and there will be different, but the whole theme of answer is going to be quite constant, or even I believe the whole word for word should be constant. Let's see. Okay. Oh, some of them looks really nice. So spaghetti bolognese, and see, as predicted, it kind of gave me a very constant answer. So it starts with spaghetti and then it ends with spinach with stuffed with butterfly. So let's change temperature to somewhere close to 0.95 maybe. It's going to be quite random. I just don't want to put it 1, because then it will try to take any words which may not be even edible. Let's see if this works. Okay. Yeah, here the idea is it brings creativity. How does it work in the background? So for example, I would like to go to, and if you ask general public, there would be hundreds of different answers, right? Some has a very high probability, some has lower probability. Or where do you want to go for this summer? Maybe the answer is Paris, London, Mumbai. So the high priority or the high frequency answers will come more often, whereas low priority, low frequency answers will come less often. And the temperature parameter basically um, controls this particular thing. So it checks for all the possible tags, all possible replacement words, and try to replace it with more if the temperature is higher, and takes the best one if the temperature is lower. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer. I don't know why. Maybe we have another trick at later point of time. Let's see if we can use that one. Come on. Yeah, what else you think we could have as a parameter? Maybe if you would have observed, we could see that it every time gives me only one reply. What if I want to have multiple replies and then choose on the go? So there is another parameter called as n, and then you can specify how many number of uh, replies you want from the model, and the parameter is going to be n is equal to, for example, 2. That's what I'm going to use it for next time. And another parameter that is called as max token. So how long the response is going to be, whether it's going to be 100 tokens, 1000 tokens, the maximum output it can have with GPT 3.5 or model GPT 4 is 4096. Okay, here we got a reply, and I think I'll just call the same one, same program again. And if you could already see, it has given me a different set, and if I call the program again, it should give me an entirely a different set again. So let's see. Okay, let's go back to other parameters. We said n is the parameter which controls how many responses you want, and another parameter called as max length or max tokens. It will control how long the response is going to be. So ideally, normally people put it somewhere close to 1000, 2000, and really not go up to 4096. So uh, in good scenarios, it should be somewhere around 1000 or so. Yeah, here is an output. So first time it told us, yeah, we can have baked or roasted vegetables, and then we can have pasta. So you're getting my point, right? So um, make it's the chat completion API is really elastic. You can use it for, as I said, millions of different use cases, and you'll have to use these minute tweaking parameters, which will make it best for your use case. So I have added then two more parameters just to prove that max tokens work. So we'll just try to put it as 50. Here the aim is not to get a perfect reply, but just to prove that these parameters work. Okay, so we expect two replies, each one of them being 50 characters long. Okay, um, I think it gave us two replies, but if you see, I have chosen only the first one, so I should be printing it in a different way. Okay, my bad, sorry. Yeah, if you see, because we made the max token small, it has given us quite a fast reply. So in the choices, the first choice was with index 0, there are numerous, and there should be somewhere index 1. Yeah, good. If you want to know more parameters that we can pass, let's go to, okay, I really don't want to change anything here because one parameter is by default, so let me keep it that way. Uh, yeah, as I said, if you want to know more about uh, what parameters we can pass to create chat completion, there are many more, like messages and model was mandatory. Then we have something called as frequency penalty. I really don't want to read through, but max tokens, we already saw about it. N, we again saw about it. um, response format. I think it's going to be more useful at later point of time where we say, okay, I want to have an output not in a text format or a dictionary format, but I really want it in a JSON format. You can or in a text format, then you can force it. Temperature is quite, as I said, quite handy, and top P is something which will be quite useful if you want to limit the type of responses that you want to have. Okay, so this is the part one I had. Part two of the topic today was more about, um, if you remember, there was one system message, or let's call it as system instructions, that I deleted when we were when we copied from the very first you know example. So let's go to examples. No, let me show it to you. A quick start. We were in quick start here, and we just basically copied this one, and then we deleted a system message. So let's go back and do the same thing. Okay. What is system message? So let me give you an example. Uh, if you're gonna ask a very simple question, like, for example, explain me what is solar system. But if you ask this question to, if you are a 5-year-old and you ask it to your teacher, he's gonna explain it in one way. And if you are a graduate or a PhD student, and if you ask the same question to your professor, he's going to explain it in a very, very different way, right? So it's basically setting the context of the system, how you want system to behave like. So let me try and put in here. So let's say uh, you are a great, you are a second standard teacher, and you are teaching about solar systems to student, for example. Yeah, let's see if we can get that one. Explain me what is solar system. Okay, and we should get in a very, very simple manner the output that can be understood by a second grader, right? And for example, if you're gonna set in the next run, then we're gonna change the system prompt or system instruction to something else, and let's see then if you can get a different output. Okay, it says the solar system is vast collection of celestial bodies and involve blah blah blah, asteroids, comet, and other small objects. Okay, looks like it's for second standard student, right? So it has planets and dust and gas and blah blah blah. So let's say, let me change the content of the system instruction now. You are university professor and expert in astronomy. You are you are talking to a student and want to explain them in great details. Okay, and I'm going to ask exactly the same question. Let's see what kind of reply we get. Why this is important? Because many of, for example, if you are part of an organization or part of a project many of your questions or almost all of your questions are going to be, or chat is going to be of a given theme. You want to have a set of instructions to be followed, a set of things that will be common for every of your answer. And this is going to be of a great help for setting a system context to redirect or formalize or make them in a particular format. Let's see. Yeah, today I think even though we are using GPT 3.5 turbo model, still it's taking long time. There has been some issues yesterday. That's exactly why I was not able to create a video yesterday. Um, there are some hiccups on OpenAI infrastructure side. Yeah, and here it is. So it would talk about more uh, depth. It will use some scientific words. Um, as I said, it will have a particular context as a system instruction that we have given it to you. Hope you were able to have some takeaways. You go back, have some hands-on, and prepare yourself for using a chat completion API. And then in the future topics, we will try to use this API and build some, let's say, utility on top of it. So for example, let's take all the questions in a given format, and then we call the API for each of the questions and we generate an answer in a spreadsheet. Or we can do a small web app uh, where we can give an web page to students. Anything is possible. As I said, maybe feedback from you guys would be appreciated, then I can take direction accordingly, or then I have some predefined ideas with me. I'll try to implement any one of those. Thank you guys. As always, question, queries, concerns are more than welcome. I'm more than happy to answer them. Wish you a very nice day then.